Hi guys! So today I have another cosplay prop tutorial for you. Haven't done one of these since my Negan bat. This was only done purely because of the crazy amounts of requests that I got between Instagram private messages, Twitter private messages, tweets, comments on my Instagram photos of my Jughead Jones cosplay. I decided that I would make another Jughead hat to show you guys the cheap, easy, and really kind of fun way to make Jughead Jones's beanie from Riverdale. Okay, so my original hat is this one, and it has gone through some changes. I had a red button on it at some point, and then I changed it to this. It has a little glue residue here because I put the tag down on the wrong spot. I added some detail to the tag, and I kind of weathered it a little bit since I originally did my hat about a month and a half ago. The hat that I made for the video is the one I am wearing right now. And it does look different with my wig. I'm obviously not wearing my wig right now, but I am wearing my Jughead S shirt, which I will link down below to the Etsy shop I did get that at. But the reason why I made my own Jughead hat was for a couple of reasons. One reason is I looked on Etsy and every hat that someone sold was knitted. Now, while this is a knitted beanie, it looked very exaggerated knitted. Like Jughead's hat, now mind you, I've stared at this photo so many times. I've gone through like a million different photos of Jughead's hat from Riverdale. And I've looked at it, I try to get the right color, to try to get the stitching, the little label thing on it right, and not exactly screen accurate, but as close to as I could get, I suppose. So yeah, anyways. It looks like a regular standard beanie, like a slouchy beanie that they cut and made into a hat. And actually some websites suggested that it was the Scotch and Soda brand gray beanie, which is insanely expensive online right now, probably for that reason. And through looking at the hat, you can tell that they cut it and then sewed the ends together like you guys see me glue together because it's just easier for me. But this hat right here is from Amazon. I will link it down below, and it comes in various shades of gray. It also comes in black, and I got, or it gets around here somewhere, a cranberry one. And they are $6 on Amazon. So the hat itself is $6, which is a lot cheaper than getting someone to knit it on Etsy for, I think, anywhere from $30, and I saw someone doing it for $60. And the hats on Etsy are knitted, and I've seen some felt ones that kind of look more like comic book Jughead's beanie and hat, and whoopee cap is the term for the old school Jughead's hat, or crown. But this one, the one that Cole Sprouse wears in Riverdale, looks more like a slouchy beanie, which is why I decided to get the one off of Amazon and kind of customize it myself. So that's one reason why I did it myself. The second reason, it was the money factor. Obviously, I didn't want to pay like $30 to $60 for a knitted hat. And also the second reason was Jughead, the writers have said that his hat is kind of like his security blanket. The scenes where he doesn't have his hat is like his more vulnerable scenes. The hat means a lot to him, and obviously if you've seen a couple weeks ago's episode where he goes on a tangent saying I'm weird, blah blah blah, like why do you think I wear this stupid hat? The hat is pretty much Jughead's like security blanket. So I'm probably thinking he cut it up and kind of altered it himself. So to cosplay Jughead, I figured it'd be kind of cool to make my own Jughead hats. So this, like I said, this is the first one that I made. And the second one that I made is the one I'm wearing right now, if you guys can see it. And I actually really, really like it. I like having two, even though apparently according to the show, there is only one. So I have one more than the actual character of Jughead has on the show. But I wanted to show you guys how to make this in a very kind of affordable way, because even though, without further ado, I'm just going to let you guys get into the tutorial. Remember, all links to anything that I bought will be down below, unless something happens with Amazon and they change the link and then the link gets broken and it doesn't work, then I'll just take the link out. That does happen sometimes, so I do apologize, but I will put the link to the shirt below, the hat below, and anything else that I used in the tutorial that I mentioned. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and on to the tutorial. Okay, so the supplies that you're going to need are going to vary depending on what you're going to do and whatnot, but you're going to need a hat. Now, the hat that they actually use for the show, I believe, is a Scotch and soda hat. I don't know, I was trying to do research on the type of hats that they use to try to get one as similar as I could, and everywhere just said knitted hat, and then somewhere said Scotch and soda, which is super expensive, and yeah. So I got this hat off of Amazon for $6.99. I'll put the link below, but just a small little disclaimer that if the link isn't there, then it's because it was either changed or taken down or whatnot, and I'm not going to keep a non-link that doesn't work. Now you can get a variety of different hats. They have different shades of gray. They also have cranberry, which I have here, which I got my husband. So, but this is what it looks like completely, like, not folded up. So I folded mine up, obviously, so I could do the crown. But that's what it looks like not folded up. It's just a knitted hat. Now, it is like 2 layers, obviously, which is why you're going to see what I'm going to be doing later on. But this is what it looks like in full, and then this is what it looks like folded. So now all I did was I put the hat on my head so I could see exactly how I liked, because it is a slouchy hat. I wanted to see where I liked the way that it laid on my head. And I just put a pin on the front, and then I just put a pin off to the side where I wanted to place the tag and the button. So that's why these 2 things are here. So that's just what it looks like unfolded. And yeah, so for my first Jughead hat, I kind of winged it in a way. But yeah, I basically did wing it. And what I did was I unfolded it and I cut it. So what I'm going to be using is my original Jughead hat for a template. But really what I did was I took a pair of scissors and I literally just kind of cut triangles. Now I have this right here to show where the middle of my head is, because I don't want a straight point to be right here. Because I feel like if a straight point was right on the front of your head, it just looks weird. So I kind of don't want, like, right in the center of my head to be a straight point. So that is why I marked where the center of the hat is hopefully going to fall. Now, I just kind of took the hat I have now, and I'm going to use that as a rough template just so I don't mess up with this one. And if you guys can see, the 2 layers that are on it aren't on this one, and I will show you guys that in a minute. But yeah, so I'm just going to get cutting. I need to grab my scissors. I just have random scissors. I have craft scissors around here somewhere. Hold on. But these are a little bit dull, so I'm just using these. But I do have craft scissors. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, for reference, I don't want the point right in the center, just so I can. You can freehand it because it definitely looks like he freehanded his, obviously, but just so I can get a point of reference from at least my first cut. So there we go. And now I am just gonna cut down and basically go at it. And this one is kind of the, like I said, the last one is never, ever perfect because it's obviously not, as I throw the scissors. If you guys can see, the last one is never perfect. In the tests that I've done on a couple of different hats, it's never been perfect. It's the last one's always a little bit smaller. So that's why I try to make it towards the back as much as I can, or at least not on the side with the pin on it. So that is that. And now what we're going to do is this, if you guys can see, they are broken apart. What I did on this one is I glued them down. If you guys can see, I glued it down with hot glue. You can also sew it if you want. I'm pretty sure, because most hats, unless you knit them yourselves, which his does not look like hand knitted, it doesn't look like a hand knitted hat. It looks like a slouchy beanie that he cut, that's why I did it like this, is because it looks like a slouchy beanie that I cut, which is what his looks like. Most hats like this come with, like, they're folded in. They have 2 layers. And his, for the most part, what I saw in photos, looks like they sewed it, which you can definitely take this by hand and sew these 2 together. But I don't have patience for that. So I'm going to take my glue gun and I'm just going to glue these down. So I have my handy glue gun here. It actually won't reach out to over here, but I'm going to show you guys. I'm just going to take the glue and I'm going to glue right on the ends. And the good part about it is when the glue hardens, it actually kind of takes this part and folds it out a little bit, like you'll see it bend out, which in some photos and stuff like that, his does, which is how I can see the stitching. So I'm pretty sure that they stitched the seams over here. But I'm just going to glue it just because it's easier for me, but I will be back when I'm done gluing. Okay, so if you guys can see, I glued down the points on it. It does kind of fold up a little, which I like that because it's not straight up against it. It kind of gives it a little bit of texture, if you see. I'm just going to go back once it completely fully dries and fill in any little, like, gaps, and then also take clear nail polish, but that's optional if you want to do that, just so it doesn't really fray. But to me, it looks really good. Now you can also sew it. When I would sew it, I would kind of just go over it like that, but it looks good. Now on my original hat, I put this on the wrong spot, so I had to take it off. So I have a little, but you can barely see it if it's like the light is blaring down on it right now, so you can see it there. But for the most part, you can't see it. And originally, I had a red, bright red button over here. It was temporarily there. I sewed it on real quick, and I kept it there for a few photos. I'll insert a picture of it here, and it was also here at the beginning of this video. And then I decided to try something a little bit different, because I have literally been staring at this hat for so long. I have, like, pictures of it in different angles. It looks different shades of gray in different ones, but apparently there's only one hat. According to interviews, they only have one hat, so it's not different colors or anything. But the one thing I did notice is that the button on his hat isn't bright. It's kind of a reddish copperish tone, and it doesn't look like a regular button. It looks more organic, like it was meant to be on the hat before he cut it. So to me, it kind of looked like one of those buttons that you see on pants. That's the only way I can describe it. And I've seriously looked at this hat so much. And I know the origin story of the hat. I know what it's based from. And usually that would be buttons or pins. Like actual like buttons or pins. And on the original Jughead hat, it's just a red button. It doesn't really show anything. It's bright red. But on his, it looks kind of copperish. So what I did is I took an old pair of pants and I took the button off of it. This is the one I have on here, and then this is the one I'm going to use on the hat. It's just an old button from a pair of pants, and it's one of the I don't know if there's a technical term for it. There probably is. But this is the back, and this is the front, and I'm going to push it through and put it onto the hat. And I just painted it with this like copperish red acrylic paint to give it that. This is actually a Tony Hawk button because it's from a pair of Eric's old jeans. But yeah, so, and I can take it on and off if I wanted to. So if I like this button better and I wear the other hat more, that's what I'm going to do. And then for this part of the patch, which looks really, really clean, I'm going to probably go through it and make it look better or older. It's simply, this is why this hat is so cheap, because you don't have to buy a bunch of extra stuff. I'm using what is already there. See the tag that's on the hat? I take my scissors, I cut it off, put my hat right side out. Put it back to where I need it. And then this is where I am going to put it. Now, Jughead has his on his right side, so that goes there, and then that is going to go there, and I'm going to show you guys how I do it. And I'm actually going to glue this down, just because it stays better when I glue it down, and then I'm going to sew it with a stitch just to make it look like it's supposed to be there. And then I might go through and make it look a little bit older with like some acrylic paint, just to kind of make it look dirty, because that looks way too clean. So I'm just going to simply glue this down, pop this in, and I will be back. Alright, so here we go. We have the little patch on the hat right here, and then I took the other one and I just kind of made it a little bit more dirty, so I'm going to do the same thing to this one. I don't know if you guys can see the difference. This one looking a little bit more worn and and this one is really bright. But that is the difference. And yeah. I'm actually really quite happy with how this turned out. I'm going to probably go do the weathering on the hat after I'm done with this video, because I'm going to have to let it dry and whatnot. But I am really kind of happy with it. I don't know what I'm going to do with two hats. I might keep them. I might give one away to someone I know who is cosplaying as Jughead. But I do really like them. I like that it looks screen accurate, or as accurate as I can get, but it's not perfect. The writers, like I said at the beginning of this video, have said that Jughead's hat is a big part of his character, and it's kind of his security blanket, if you will. It comes off in very like rare moments of like vulnerability and stuff. So I feel like he definitely has a lot of love with his hat, and he probably made it. Like, he probably cut it up. So that's why I wanted to kind of get my own beanie and do it myself. I saw a bunch on Amazon on Etsy that were knitted and that people made, which is awesome. But they were a lot of money, so for $7 and stuff that I had at home, I made this one. I mean, technically, two hats cost me $12, $13, but if you're going to do one, it's probably going to cost you $6 if you already have a glue gun at home and stuff like that. And if you already have the thread and needle, like, it's not going to cost you that much more money than the actual beanie itself. Fairly affordable, and you don't have to go to the detail like I did and weathering it, which, if you want to know, it's just acrylic wash that I used. But I like that it looks worn. I like that it looks kind of like old, and I really, really, really do enjoy this hat. So I hope this tutorial is everything you guys asked for, because this is seriously, since I started making this hat and posting photos, people have been messaging me on Instagram asking me about my hat, so now I can direct them to this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to me if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys like these kind of tutorial videos, so I can know what you guys want to see more in this channel. So yeah, hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you in my next. Bye!